Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention around the league lately, you know that the AFC North is shaping up to be one of the most competitive, most unpredictable divisions in football. And one of the biggest stories, or rather, the potential blockbuster move, involves the Cincinnati Bengals and their wide receiver Tee Higgins. Rumor has it that the Bengals, after a tough season and facing some cap hell, they're over $8 million in the red coming into 2026, are looking to make some serious roster moves. The buzz, coming from sources like Pro Football Reference, points toward Cincinnati possibly trading Higgins to the Steelers. And let me tell you, if this deal goes down, it's going to shake up the entire division, and Pittsburgh's chances of making a deep playoff run could get a serious boost. So let's break down what this could mean. Higgins, just 26 years old, is the kind of player every Steelers fan would love to see in black and gold. He's a true deep threat, a guy who can stretch the field and make defenses pay for overcommitting. In 2025, despite missing a few games due to a hamstring injury, Higgins put up some solid numbers, 68 receptions for over 150 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's elite production, especially considering he's a player who averaged 2 yards per target and had an EPA, expected points added, per reception of plus 0.48. And if you look at his career stats since coming into the league in 2020, Higgins has amassed over 200 yards and 32 touchdowns with 2 trips to the Pro Bowl. It's easy to see why the Steelers would be interested. Now, why would Cincinnati even consider trading Higgins? Well, the Bengals are in a tricky spot financially. They're facing a significant cap hit with Joe Burrow's extension, a whopping $55 million in 2026, which limits their flexibility. They're also heavily focused on extending Jamar Chase, who had an outstanding 400 yards in 2025. The Bengals' defense, which struggled at times, allowing about 140 rushing yards per game last season, also needs a rebuild, and freeing up cap space by moving Higgins makes sense in their long-term plans. Plus, with Cincinnati's defense ranking around 20th in the league, they're trying to maximize their offensive talent while balancing the cap. Trading Higgins in this scenario would open up around $12 million in cap space, allowing them to bolster the defensive line and focus on their key pieces for the future. But what about the Steelers? Well, this is where it gets exciting. Pittsburgh's cap situation is much more manageable, sitting around $88 million, and they've been looking to add explosive weapons to their offense. Higgins, with his skill set, fits perfectly. Imagine him lining up alongside George Pickens, creating mismatches, and giving Kenny Pickett an elite option down the field. His ability to make contested catches, combined with his YAC, yards after catch, of 6'3", would make him a perfect complement to the Steelers' existing receiving core. Just think about how this would elevate the passing game, which has been a work in progress but shows promise. With Higgins, the Steelers could see a jump from around 220 passing yards per game to potentially over 260 yards, which would transform their offensive identity. Higgins' style of play, reminiscent of A.J. Brown's prime, with a PFF grade of 87. 6, top tier among receivers, could be a game changer. He's a guy who can win contested catches at a high rate, and his yards after catch make him a threat even after the reception. His average yards per reception, over 15 yards, shows how much of a vertical threat he is. The Steelers have been building a balanced attack, but adding Higgins would give them that extra explosive element that can turn a game around in a flash. Plus, with defenses focused on stopping the run or containing Pickens and Devonta Smith, Higgins' presence would force opponents to pick their poison. Looking at the big picture, this move could have a ripple effect across the division. The Ravens have their own issues, but the Bengals, with Higgins gone, might struggle to replace that production immediately. They'd be forced to rely more heavily on Chase, who, while talented, can't do it all alone. Losing Higgins would diminish Cincinnati's aerial attack, and that could mean a lot more pressure on their defense, which is already under scrutiny. For the Steelers, acquiring Higgins would be like adding a piece to a puzzle that's already looking pretty complete. It would allow them to push their passing yards per game from 220 to a projected 260, and that kind of offensive upgrade could be the difference maker in close games, especially in the postseason. Now, let's talk about the playoff implications. Pittsburgh, currently sitting at 7-6, is in the thick of the AFC North race. Adding Higgins could turn them into a legit contender, especially when you consider their upcoming schedule and the need to bolster their passing game. Higgins' 4 playoff touchdowns in his career already show he can perform under pressure. His ability to neutralize zone coverages with routes at an elite level would make him a matchup nightmare for defenses that try to double-team Pickens or Devonta. And with T.J. Watt sidelined at times last season, diversifying the offense with a receiver like Higgins could help take some pressure off the defense, giving the Steelers more balance and consistency. Looking ahead to Super Bowl LX, the odds for Pittsburgh taking it all could see a significant shift if this trade materializes. Currently, their Super Bowl odds are around plus 1,200, but with Higgins in the fold, those odds could drop to plus 600 or even better, especially given the boost to their offensive efficiency. The key playoff matchup, likely against the Ravens or possibly other AFC powerhouses, would become even more critical. Higgins' 4 career playoff touchdowns already demonstrate his capability to step up in big moments. His route running, contested catch ability, and YAC would make him a prime weapon in high-pressure situations, and that could push the Steelers' chances of reaching Super Bowl LVII into serious contention. Of course, this all hinges on whether the Bengals pull the trigger, but if they do, the Steelers could find themselves with a game-changing addition. Higgins' skill set fits like a glove with what Pittsburgh is trying to build, a balanced, explosive offense that can keep defenses guessing. It's a move that could truly reignite the Steelers' Super Bowl ambitions, echoing the days of their legendary 2010 receiving core that helped them chase their 7th Lombardi trophy. This potential trade isn't just about adding a talented receiver. It's about shifting the entire landscape of the AFC North, giving Pittsburgh a real shot at dominance for seasons to come. And remember, folks, the AFC North isn't just a division, it's a battlefield. Every team is fighting for supremacy, and moves like this can define the future of franchises. For Steelers fans, it's an exciting time. The possibility of Higgins donning the black and gold makes the upcoming season even more thrilling. The rivalry with Cincinnati, already intense, could reach new heights if this deal goes through. It's a scenario that's hard to ignore, and if it happens, the Steelers' offense will be better, faster, and more dangerous than ever. That's what we all want to see our team rise, to see them dominate, and to chase that elusive 7th Super Bowl. So, stay tuned, because if this trade happens, it's going to be one of the biggest stories of the offseason, and I promise it's going to be a game changer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. In conclusion, the potential acquisition of Tee Higgins by the Pittsburgh Steelers could be a turning point for the franchise. It's a move that aligns with their goals of contending now and building for the future. Higgins' explosiveness, combined with the Steelers' solid core, could create a formidable offensive attack that defenses won't know how to handle. It's the kind of move that energizes the fan base, boosts playoff odds, and brings the Steelers one step closer to reclaiming their place at the top of the AFC. Whether this trade materializes or not, one thing is clear. The Steelers are always looking to improve, always hungry for more, and always ready to make the kind of moves that define a new era of success. So get ready, Steelers Nation, because this offseason might be the most exciting one yet. And I'll be right here, bringing you all the latest updates and insights. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, let's go Steelers.